Somehow held some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist. I wondered what would change. I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, who would have kept me from the one I had today.
Good morning, Robertson County. What are you doing? Hello, hello. This is 1100 WSGI. A little thing we call One Street Over. I'm U-Turn Laverne, and in the house with me is my friend Kaleb Stratton. What is going on?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. We'll just get right to it. I missed having you in because our normal scheduled time with you would have been during our spring break. And you took spring break. I took spring break.
We were both out of town, so.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't out of town.
Oh. Well, you were taking off, though.
Yes, I took off from radio, and everybody's like, well, did you do a staycation? It's like, no, I did not. I went the entire week trying to get my life organized, and I did not succeed. If you know me well, my students yesterday, God bless them, they're so patient. I'm trying so hard to get my whole world organized to help me in my classroom,
right? Because
I've got to be. And I was better yesterday, but Wyatt, one of my students, I was going all through some stuff. He goes, "No, Miss Vivio, no, that I did that because I was saying, where's this, where's that?" And he would come and show me, and so he kept on me yesterday. He's a senior, and I love these students so much. And I told him, I said, I truly mean it. I don't mind you calling me out when I've got something wrong, but I'm really trying, you guys. I'm trying so hard to get all the things in order. But that's what I did over spring break, and I had to go to Kentucky one day. So that kind of, interrupted the flow. But anytime I can go spend time with my family is always good.
Absolutely.
So.
We went camping. It was 17 degrees, so.
Oh, no. Ooh, I would have been.
Cold weekend,
I would have changed plans.
We were at Fall Creek Falls, and we'd get up, and it was snowing and everything else. And I'm like, what are we
how beautiful, though.
doing?
How wonderful. But, yeah, that's a little wild. And, man, we go to the homeless camps and say, hey, come in so you don't die. And you're out there.
We go out there.
Dog.
Yeah.
I don't know,
outside for a weekend.
That just sounds too intense to me. I can't even imagine.
Well, and it wasn't. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you spend all this money to go out and live in the woods.
Yeah.
Pull your house with you now,
Oh, so you had a camper.
Oh, yeah, no. We weren't tent camping. No,
I was going to say.
The 18-month-old wouldn't have liked that too much. No. Yeah, when I say camping, I'm like new school camping now.
Okay.
I spent my time in the Boy Scouts and all that, sleeping in that.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, well, my coldest camper, I remember, was 7 degrees, and it was miserable.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Boy Scouts teach you to be smarter, so now I got a camper.
Well, and it's so funny because I have my nephew, Joshua, that lives up in Kansas City. They are big into camping. Their camper's nicer than my house. I mean, and they leave it parked down on the lake. And it's like you're not camping. You're just going to your lake house.
Yeah, that's just that's all it is.
To have wheels.
Yeah.
I mean, it is super nice. You ought to see this thing. It is amazing. And but anyway, I digress. Kaleb Stratton's here. Let's just kind of unpack real quickly. This is Vietnam Veterans Day. And because of that, we are going to be at Springfield Memorial Gardens, and we're going to be honoring those who we are putting on the wall there that started with the Orange Heart Medal Foundation. That, of course, is the reason this whole thing started. But even people who have not been affected by Agent Orange, if you're a Vietnam vet, we want to put you on that wall. Because I'll get emotional if I talk too much about this. All my people that know me, because I lost a friend in Vietnam. I've learned an awful lot about Donna Hagen's brother, Terry, and his sacrifice in Vietnam. But I was a kid in the 60s. I was at that age that I remember how the soldiers were treated vividly, because Kenneth dying, it just made me dial in as to how they were treating our honored soldiers coming home. And it infuriated me, because I'm like, how dare you? Kenneth died for that, and you're not honoring them. And so what goes on at the Springfield Memorial Gardens is just so profound. And I share the story of Terry every year, because there's a little story that Donna told me, and it kind of ends with the kind of the climax of it's about time. Okay. And I'll just say that. And if you've heard me at these memorials, you know the story, but I share that every year because it's appropriate, and I can't think of anything that says the meaning behind what they're doing there better. And praise the Lord for Ken Gamble, for him having this in his heart to do that. They gave me one of the medals just so I can show it to people and explain it. And I have it hanging up in my classroom, and the students are like, what is that, Miss Vivio? And I love to tell them the story, so that, because these students, they're born in, goodness, like 2015, 16, 17, no, what am I saying? So it's 2000, I gotta do math. Don't make me do math. But they've been born in the last 15, 16 years. And to them, Vietnam is what World War II and World War I was to me. It was part of my history books, but I didn't really know much about it. So if I can give them some tangible things. So I'm taking students to the memorial today. We're taking a little field trip, and we're stopping at McDonald's, by the way, for lunch. So just heads up, Greenbrier McDonald's. We're going to be there, 10:45, about 30 kids. So get ready.
You may want to call them.
I'm going to go by and tell them. I'm going to go by on my way through. So we're going to be doing that, and just real excited to bring these students and to be able to participate in this today. So anyway, there you go. So we got Terry coming in. Terry Wilson's going to come in, our veteran service officer. He's going to come in. He's going to kind of talk to us about that a little bit, just to kind of, again, reinforce the fact this is Vietnam Veterans Day. There's Vietnam vets all around you guys. Please love on them, and please talk to them about if they were exposed to Agent Orange, they need to talk to Terry about the benefits available, not just to them, to their family. If they had children, if they were exposed to Agent Orange, and they had children after they came home, it has affected their kids. It's down to the DNA. They're finally admitting this, and they're finally working to help our soldiers that paid an incredible price. Not only did they go over there and have to go through that exposure, then they came home to just absolute ridicule, and just makes me sick. So anyway, we're going to start. It's about time that we're fixing that, working to at least honor them in the proper way, and that's what we're doing at Springfield Memorial Gardens now. I invited Kaleb to come in because we missed our time together, and I have wildlife questions.
Okay.
And two, I know that a lot of organizations have benefits for veterans. Mm-hmm. So do you guys have anything like a special hunting license, or do you have something for the veterans out there? Because I posed that question to you when I called you yesterday.
So there is, and
okay.
I apologize. I don't know a ton about the whole, the discharges from the military and stuff like that. But from what I understand, pretty much everybody, how do I say everybody, but pretty much a lot of our veterans, when they get out of the military, they're at least 30% disabled. And that's not in a bad term, I don't think, right? A lot of that is hearing. It's something it is the truth. Minor, and a lot of times you can look at them and they're not disabled.
Yeah.
But,
they come back carrying something.
Yeah. So anyway, with that being said, any veteran that's 30% disabled or more, we give pretty much it's a permanent license to for $10. So that just covers our costs for a couple things.
Okay.
And that allows you to hunt and fish whatever you want to do.
So it's a lifetime license for $10.
$10.
And if you were to buy it, how much would it be for you. I'm just saying that to give the value of that. So we've talked a lot about,
Thousands,
for you at
Right,
your
it's like
age right now.
$1,600.
Yeah. So if if Kaleb wanted to go out and say, I'm going to buy a lifetime license, we're talking $1,600. Right. But if you're a veteran that's 30% or more, any kind of disability, then and I appreciate the fact that they're evaluating our soldiers much more closely. Our veteran service officers are going to our veterans as they come out and they're going, where were you? What did you do? Are you okay? Let's take a look, because you've got a limited amount of time to say, yeah, you know what? My ears are ringing and I'm only 20-something years old.
And even if you think you're okay, I mean, you still go get checked out, and then you find out you may be okay, but you meet that 30% threshold.
Yeah. And two, not only are you going to be able to get this benefit, there are benefits for your family that you can get that will help you later, because we all know they didn't pay you much when you were in there.
But
I'll go off on that for a minute, but we won't now. We won't. We'll just go on.
But not just the hunting licenses. So we put on a lot of hunts for. I think collectively we say this name a lot, Wounded Warriors.
Yeah.
Collectively, we say that a lot, but that's just one organization out of so many.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of those organizations. And actually, we don't even do a lot with Wounded Warriors anymore, I don't think. But we have special hunts just for veterans as well that we invite out to Buffalo Ridge Refuge. It's a refuge that we have, and it's private. It's not private. It's owned by the state, but it's only used. The only stipulation, we were donated this land, but it could only be used for educational and specific purposes, which include veterans hunts. So we have a lot of veterans hunts out there each year.
Cool.
We have turkey hunts, dove hunts, deer hunts, you name it. They're working on getting some duck hunting out there as well. So
very cool.
And veterans can go on there and sign up for these hunts. Again, it's exclusive just to them, nobody else.
Oh, cool. I love
that. They can go on our website, tnwildlife.org.
Okay.
And, click on events, and it shows the calendar. But yeah, and if you don't remember, just Google TWRA and it'll pop up. So,
okay. That's awesome.
That's something else that we do, and that's really fun to get a hold of and go help with and just talk to those guys. And
so they don't, if it's somebody that doesn't have disabilities, but they're a veteran, they can do it.
Yeah, you don't have to be a quote wounded warrior or anything like that. Just veterans, and something they started.
What about active duty?
Something they started a few years ago. This only pertains to duck season right now, but towards the end of duck season, we have 2 specific days that only active military and veterans can hunt. So nobody else in the state can hunt. Not kids, not me, you. Just unless you were active duty or a veteran. You're the only ones that can duck hunt those 2 days in the whole state. So that's pretty cool. It's like you shut the whole state down and we give them 2 days.
That is awesome.
We do the same thing for kids too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that they've now designated certain days for just military, so that's pretty awesome to me.
That's very cool. I mean, my son's a veteran. I'm going to talk to him about all this, because I don't think he knew about that veterans hunt. He'd be like, I'm on that. Of course, he's really been saying he's going to come hunting deer on my place too, and he hasn't harvested a deer.
Actually, you'll probably be pretty mad at him if he goes out there and kills a deer before he kills one at your house.
Mm-hmm. So. Well, I kind of like looking at mine, but I know they need to be harvested, and I know that there's a thing because I know what population and da-da-da-da. Okay, I've got a couple of questions for you. One of them came from David Estrada yesterday, and one of my students. He likes to hunt, and he was telling me, Miss Vivio, the limit on deer's hundreds, because he was talking about how many doe you can get per day and all of that, and he threw out a number, and I'm like, I don't know if it could be, but what would you say if you hunted every day and hit your limit? What kind of numbers are we looking at?
I would have to do the math, but I've done it before, and it's around give or take 50, but around 300.
That's exactly what David. Ding, ding, ding. You knew your stuff, man.
Yeah.
He knew, and that's exactly what he said. Now we were talking turkey hunting. And I told him, I said, I'm thinking about harvesting a turkey. I'm thinking about doing turkey hunting this year, simply because you have just said so much about the taste and all of that. And I'm thinking, I think I want to do that. But the limits, we were talking about the limits, and I said, it's way less than what it was. So what is the limit on turkey season?
It's 2 this year.
2 this year. And when does it start?
Season. It's going to start April 15th, so here in just a couple weeks.
Okay, so about the time, it's going to be actually starting before you come back in, I think. Maybe?
Probably.
Yeah, because you're on the 3rd Monday.
Yeah, so that'll probably be the Monday right
Okay,
well,
I'm glad we got you in here then.
Yeah.
Okay, so April 15th, turkey season starts. Now, what can I, as somebody, I'm going to be hunting on my property. What can I shoot? What can I shoot as far as a turkey? What do I need to look for? Because I don't have a clue.
A lot of people think that you have to kill the male birds.
Right.
And that's not the case. The law says you can kill up to 2 bearded turkeys.
Okay.
So most of the time, I'd say now probably 90% of the time, 85 to 90% of the time, the males are the ones with the beard that hang down.
Right.
People call it a rope, whatever, but
Yeah.
it's a beard that's coming out. They're the ones that are all spread out. Their tail fan is all out, and that's when that's called strutting, and they're trying to get a mate and breed. So you can kill 2 of those. You can kill 2 adults, or you can kill 1 juvenile, which we call a jake. A jake is a male bird, but it's just got a little beard. Normally 2 to 4 inches, very small.
Okay.
So you can kill 1 jake and 1 gobbler, 1 adult, or 2 adults. We're trying to quit killing as many juveniles because they can't breed yet. So we're killing them before they get a chance to breed. And they're still working on a study right now. The reason normally turkey season would be going on right now, but we've pushed it 2 weeks due to a study that's going on. And they think that we're harvesting these birds before they can breed, and it's causing our population to decline.
Okay.
Because we're killing them before they breed any hens, so they're not having babies as much.
Okay.
So,
because it used to be the limits on turkeys were pretty high, right?
They were. They got up to like 4 or 5 a year sometimes.
Okay.
And in this fall season, you could kill a whole lot.
How many can you kill
in the fall? You could kill into like 6.
Okay. And when does it happen?
County,
when does it happen?
It'll be in October. It's normally towards the end of October.
So that'll be where you can get your turkey for
Thanksgiving. Yeah. But
now
you can only kill one per county. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not even every county.
But you're talking about in the spring. But this fall, I'll be able to harvest more.
You can kill 1 the fall. So we moved it to 2 in the spring and 1 in the fall.
Okay.
So total for the year, you can only kill 3 turkeys.
Okay, so you were just talking about what it used to be.
Right.
It used to be.
6.
We were talking about when you said 6, I'm like, oh, that's good.
No, yeah.
So you get one shot at your turkey, and you better save it because you only get one in the fall.
Yeah.
So okay.
So and that hopefully that'll all change eventually.
Okay.
They're working on this study. They've been working on it for years, and it was supposed to have been done by now. And I know it frustrates a lot of hunters. It frustrates me as a hunter.
Right.
But at the same time, we want to see these turkeys flourish. We want to see them come back in huge numbers. Not saying we don't have them in huge numbers, but not like we used to.
Okay.
So we're trying.
Okay. Now my second question, that was David's question, but now my question from my husband, he said, because I told him, he was like, who's coming on the show? Everybody's always like, who's coming on the show tomorrow? And he said, ask him. He says, is there any truth to the fact that he heard somewhere, and it could be a meme on social media for all, I don't know where he got this, but he said he had heard that one of the problems with the turkey population was that crows are eating the eggs, and there's a big crow population because people used to just sport hunt crows, and now they've just a lot of people have just kind of lost interest in shooting crows. I mean, is there anything to that?
He may have heard me say it on here. I think I've said it on here before.
Really?
Yeah. So okay. Crows are the number 1 predators for turkeys. And it's not what you think. Okay. A crow's not going to go attack a turkey and eat it. But they're huge nest predators. So turkeys, coons, possums, man, they are nest predators. So when they find a nest, they will demolish it.
So we need to be taking out the raccoons, the possums, and the crows if you want a turkey population.
To an extent, you don't want to kill everything, but that's you don't want to kill them all. But a lot of people have that mentality. A lot of people want to kill every raccoon they see, just to save the turkeys. But yeah, crows, that was in an article. It was in a scientific article journal that I'd read years ago. And but it talked about predation on turkeys, and crows was number 1 for nest predation.
Okay, Mark, you're right. I guess, and he may have heard it from you, but
you think about it. How many people hunt crows? How many? Do you know of any crow hunters?
No.
Nobody.
What would you? I mean, can you eat them?
No, you could. I don't know why you would. They say if you kill a crow, you're killing somebody's soul or something. I don't know. I know. So a lot of people won't. Yeah, one of those superstitions, so people won't know.
Pagans.
yeah, exactly.
But that's just okay. Well, that's interesting. I love this. I'm so glad we got you in here because I really do want to harvest a turkey. You've got me very curious about. You're like, if you ever have one, they're so good. How do you cook it? Once I get a bread? How do I prepare? I mean, I know how to. I've been to chicken slaughters and ugh, but anyway, I really prefer.
Some people
going
will
to
breast
Walmart
the
or
whole thing
Kroger.
out, just like you see it in Kroger. That's a lot of work to me.
Yeah.
But what I do is I just call what's called breasted out. So I'll hang it up and just peel the feathers and the skin back and cut each breast off each side. So you get 2 hunks of meat. Probably about. It just depends on how big the turkey is, but normally, about 5 pounds a piece.
Okay.
It's a lot of food. It's a
Yeah,
whole lot of food.
so
And I
you-
wrap it up. I'll soak it in salt water for a couple days, in the refrigerator. Just let it soak and take it out and trim it up real good. And I'll just wrap it up and put it in the freezer if I'm not going to eat it right then.
Okay. Well, then how do you cook it when you prepare it?
You can do a lot of different stuff. A lot of times it's easier for me. I just cut it in small strips and I'll throw some olive oil or some, what's the name of that? Kentucky Colonel, I think, like the flour, you can bread it in that and throw it in the skillet and just put some olive oil, a little bit of garlic, just whatever in the skillet and do it. I got one of those electric smokers now.
Yeah.
The City Boy smoker, I call it. And that thing's awesome. You can throw it in there and cook it, smoke it if you want to. So.
Okay, that sounds more like what I would want. 'Cause
Yeah,
I don't do breading on. I eat a lot of poultry. I eat a lot of poultry, but
have
it's baked and.
I just like the taste of that Kentucky
Yeah.
Colonel. That's the only reason I put
Yeah,
that on there,
okay.
'cause it's really good. And I won't do it thick or anything. I just put enough on there just to
Okay,
give it a little
I've never
taste.
even heard of that.
Oh my gosh,
Kentucky
it's
Colonel.
yeah. You get
So
it in
it's-
a box at Kroger. It's amazing.
Really?
It's
Okay.
so delicious.
Getting all kinds of tips from Caleb this
I
morning.
put my deer tenderloin and everything in that now. It is
Really?
golly, it's so good.
Okay.
I'm getting super hungry right now talking.
Yeah,
about
you're
it.
making
I'm
me hungry.
Probably
So-
gonna have to run to the house and cook some now.
So tell me this: you were talking about that you soak the turkey in. So is that because it's game meat? Does it take some of the game taste out of it, or is it just to season it?
I honestly don't know. I've just always done that. That's what everybody just always does that. I'm sure it helps the meat and probably does take some of it out. But turkeys don't have a gamey taste to me at all.
Okay.
At all.
But have you ever had it without soaking it?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay. Okay. Because that's a.
Oh yeah.
I was-
There's times I've killed them, dressed them, eaten them immediately.
Really.
I had one get hit by a car out here. I'll tell this story real quick. I was on my way to church and there was this turkey laying on the side of the road dead, and I was like, oh no. And it wasn't even in the road. It was kind of on the field off Batson over there. And so I dropped my wife and kids off at church, and I ran back in the truck and picked it up, thinking maybe somebody had shot it from the road or something.
Yeah.
And so after church, it's still in the bed of my truck. I take it up to the courthouse, and I run it through the X-ray machine. I put it in a garbage bag, of course.
Yeah.
And I ran it through the X-ray machine to see if anything, if I could see any shot or any lead in it or anything. And
See if
it
somebody
wasn't.
had shot it
just-
illegally.
It
Yeah.
got hit by a car, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was a hen, so it was a smaller turkey. And I just went straight back home, cut it up, and we ate it for lunch that day.
Roadkill.
Oh, it was awesome.
Roadkill turkey.
Hey.
Oh my goodness, you're such a redneck.
was
Oh,
good.
that's hysterical. I love that. I love that. That is so funny. I'm so glad you shared that. I'm just teasing you, of course.
No, it was good.
But that's
I wouldn't
so
necessarily do
funny.
it with deer, but turkey are pretty good.
That is so funny. And Paul Rainey, and Paul, welcome back. He wasn't on the show yesterday. I was worried about my friend. I was like, "Where's Paul?"
He's on every morning.
Yeah, he's on every morning. But they're dear friends of mine, if you don't know that. I have been inviting people all over the place to the Decisions, Choices, and Options dinner tomorrow night in Hendersonville. If you want to go with me, let me know, because I've got a table and it's just me and my husband Mark and Mary and Paul. Because we've got a inner city ministry dinner that they're doing in Nashville for Nashville Inner City Ministries. It's a fish fry that same night. So all my church family up in the Hendersonville, Madison area, that go to these things, they're going to that. So we've got that. But anyway, you want to go to the Decisions, Choices, and Options dinner with me and Mark and Mary and Paul? We got room for you. So let me know. But anyway, he has a question on here. He said, and we kind of answered this just a minute ago, Paul. Can you kill a turkey around Thanksgiving? You can kill one in the fall season, which is around October. So you'd have to kill it and put it in the freezer.
Normally the end of October.
Yeah, so that's really timely for Thanksgiving. But you can only get one, Paul.
Yep.
You only get one.
Well, no, it's one per county. So, let's say you wanted to go to, you could kill one if you had a place to go in Cheatham County. Go to Cheatham County and kill one in Robertson County, kill one in Sumner County. But it's not like that all throughout the state. There's a lot of states that are closed to the fall season because of their low population
What
numbers.
about Kentucky?
I don't know anything about Kentucky.
Okay,
They're
I'll
totally
find
different.
out.
Yeah, so two different entities there. So I don't know.
I don't know what it would take for.
I don't know if they have a fall season.
I mean, since I don't know. I'm blood kin to the Oak Ridge farm, because my mother's still there and my brother and sister-in-law own it. But I guess I could probably hunt in Kentucky on the family land.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how theirs works. If it were
I'll have to
Tennessee, you
find out.
couldn't.
Yeah. I couldn't?
Yeah, in Tennessee you couldn't. Yeah,
Why? Because I mean, if
like if you lived in Kentucky, you couldn't hunt here without buying a license.
but if I'm going like
It didn't matter because it's
okay, so my son who lives in Alabama,
Yeah.
wants to come home and hunt on my place. He can't?
he could.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, our stuff is so confusing. It confuses me half the time.
Okay.
So, what's even weirder? So, let's say you own you own land here. So you own your farm.
I own my farm. I own
your
my little farm down here on Lawrence Lane.
Here.
Yeah.
But let's say you lived in Kentucky.
Uh-huh.
Then you're not a Tennessee resident. You can't hunt your farm without a license.
Oh.
Yeah, I probably
so
never
since he's in
that's
Alabama, he's an Alabama resident.
Where was he born?
Here.
Okay.
Here. He's his birth was here. I was born in Kentucky.
Right.
So I've been here though. I've been in Tennessee since 1980.
Well, so in Tennessee has this really neat thing they started years ago because people would, especially where we are in Robertson County, a lot of people are from here, but it's so much cheaper to live in Elkton or Darrell, somewhere else. So they'll move across the line. But everything they have is here, and then they're having to buy a $350 out-of-state license every year. So what Tennessee did is we made what's called the Native Tennessee license. So no matter where you move to, as long as you're from Tennessee and you produce your birth certificate, you can still hunt in Tennessee for the prices of a Tennessee resident and not have to pay that outrageous cost to hunt from out of state.
Well, that's why I'm thinking, since I'm a native of
I don't know if Kentucky has that, but
I'll have to check. Well,
we're a lot cooler than Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm just going to stay out of it. I've been in Tennessee much longer than I was in Kentucky, but I got a lot of Kentucky people that will get on me fast. My nephew married a girl from up here in the Nashville area, Annika, and her people are hardcore Tennessee fans. And you talk about some trash talking there between Tennessee, and I think she's rooting for the Wildcat Blue now, but I don't know if her daddy wants to admit that or not. But anyway, I'm just teasing. All right, talking with Kaleb Stratton about all things wildlife related. We've got Terry Wilson going to be popping on in here in just a second. I tell you what, I'll go ahead and do you have anything you want to wrap up? And I'll do an ad, and I'll just have to do all my ads. We talked the whole time, and I didn't take a break.
It flew by quick, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. So if you got any parting thoughts, and we'll let y'all make the switch, and I'll go ahead and start doing some of the commercials.
Something else about the veterans that I was going to mention, and I forget what it was now.
Well, let me go ahead and do my ad, and you think
Do it real quick,
we'll
and then I may say it.
Okay, we're going to talk about Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. Okay, I was talking to my friends at Epiphany Church last night, and I've got 3 events in 4 days, and I actually really have 4 events into the next 4 days because I am going to go to Corbin Creek on Saturday morning because they're having their Full Bloom Festival. And in Full Bloom Festival, that is going to be an awful lot of fun. They'll be opened at 9 a.m. They've been on their winter hours, 10 to 4, but they're going to kick off the Full Bloom Festival on Saturday morning, April Fool's Day, 9 a.m., and they're going to have just all kinds of beautiful things. It was so funny. Lacey Bew was in here yesterday, and she said, any of you that like to take pictures of your kiddos and you want some spring pictures, go out and just dress them up and put them up around the flowers, and you're gonna come away with something beautiful, of course, for your garden, your yard. Maybe you want to start getting your bedding plants. Now, keep in mind, we had frost last night, and I know you want to get your garden planted. We get those warm days, but you've got to be careful. You got to be ready to cover if you put those tomatoes in the ground. If you start putting plants in your garden, you've got to be ready to cover it. She can talk to you all about that. But Saturday's going to be a great day to go out and enjoy the events at the Full Bloom Festival, Corbin Creek Greenhouse. Again, that is April 1st, Saturday morning, starting at 9 a.m. I hope you'll come out. And while you're there, don't just look at the greenhouses and stuff. Go inside the shop. Go inside and go in the office and see all the fun handcraft items they have. Miss Jane makes these wonderful handcrafted items. This little bowl cozy. Everybody needs a few of those because if you microwave, and we all do, those bowls, when they come out hot out of the microwave, you use one of these and you don't have that problem. They're wonderful. And I may get a couple more, as a matter of fact. I got my new pot holders there right around Christmas time. Got some aprons, and of course, they're my CBD source. If you have not discovered the benefits of CBD And go and listen to the show I had with Kerry Roberts, Senator Roberts, on Monday about the stuff with CBD. We've had some questions about that because it helps so many of us. And if you have questions about the science behind the CBD products they sell and the fact that they're Robertson County products, go and talk to them. They're at 4920 Highway 161, and you can call them if you have any questions about anything I said, 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185. Please always let my sponsors know U-Turn sent you. And do you have anything else for us before we depart our ways here?
I can't remember what it was. So
okay, well, if you think of it,
terribly
message me.
important,
And we
it was just something cool, I think.
and if you missed hearing from Caleb this morning, he had a lot of benefits for veterans that I did not know about. So thank you, brother. Appreciate you. And I'll let you know if I get to harvest a turkey. It's going to be fun. We're going to let Terry Wilson come on in here right now. Today is Vietnam Veterans Day. Come on in here and sit down, Terry. I'm going to go ahead and unpack another commercial while we're right at it because I didn't get any of my commercials done while he was in here. So we're just going to slide right on into the Cumberland Connect commercial. Huh?
I said, that's it.
That's it. That's it. Are you a Cumberland Connect customer?
They haven't got it out with me yet, but we're supposed to get it this year. So looking forward to that.
So you must be pretty close into town then, because there's some, just like Senator Roberts, he lives close enough into town that he's kind of on the low, he's like one of the last ones that will have access, I think.
Yeah.
And it depends on where you live.
Yeah, we're actually just on this side, Springfield side of the Cross Plains city limits.
Okay. And so the way they mapped it is, the way they explained it to me is they wanted to give access to those who just have really had nothing for a very long time. And there are areas that have had absolutely nothing. And so that's how they mapped it. They got to me first of the year, and I'm down at the end of Lawrence Lane. I'm just thrilled with it. I mean, when I saw them on the road, I got so excited, and it was just effortless. They showed up at my house. They put it up on the pole, then they connected it to the house, and it was so funny. The day they came and put it on the house, I called as soon as the guy left the driveway. I'm like, okay. And they're like, well, he hasn't filed the paperwork yet. We need to have the paperwork, Miss Vivio, before we can do anything. They were out there within 2 days, though, installing it in my house. And I've got a gig. My children tell me, all my techie children that know so much more about technology than I do, they say, Mother, that's like filling a bathtub with a fire hose. And I'm like, I don't care. And my son, who berates me for that, he goes, you don't need a gig, Mom. I'm like, well, what do you have? Well, I have a gig, because he works from home. Well, so do I. But anyway, you can get a gig for $80, y'all. I was paying $65 to AT&T for speeds of like 3.5, and now I have 600. It's insane. It's so cool. If you want to know more about it, connect with them at cumberlandconnect.org, cumberlandconnect.org, or you can call them 1-800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362. And if you're one of those that's like, hey, I need internet. It's a utility now. Can you help me out? Of course they can. Affordable Connectivity Program provides qualifying households with monthly credit to help pay for internet services. If eligible, you could receive credit of up to $30 per month toward broadband service. And guess what? There's a package for $30 that will get you higher speeds than what I had from AT&T. I'm so sorry, AT&T. It is what it is. Connect with Cumberland Connect today. And when you do, let them know U-Turn sent you. Thank them for sponsoring one street over. Terry Wilson's in the house, and I will apologize specifically to King Gamble when I get in there today. I did not have him in this week. I was not here last week. I would have had him in last week to talk about the Vietnam Veterans Day and what we're doing at Springfield Memorial Gardens today. But I was gone last week, and I knew if I called him, he would get here this week, and I knew he was too busy.
Yeah.
I knew he was too busy.
Yeah, they was doing the meet and greet yesterday.
Yeah. So I didn't want to put that on him, but I called Terry. I said, okay, can you? And I posted to you, too, because I know you're busy. You had to set your tent up out there last night. Did you get it?
Well, I didn't set it up last night, but I got everything loaded, and when I leave here this morning, grab me a quick bite, stop at the office for just a little bit, and then go out there, and I'll have my stuff up for too much longer, within the next couple hours. Okay.
Well, and so tell people what we're talking about. I talked about it earlier, and now you unpack it.
Okay. Well, today is Vietnam Veterans Day. It's the 48 years since the end of the Vietnam War in 1975, which was the withdrawal of supposed to have been our remaining troops. And we still have a lot of POWs, or potentially POWs, but we do have a lot of MIAs that we do know of that have not been returned home. What we're doing today at Springfield Memorial, and this is going to be at the main entrance into Springfield Memorial Gardens there at the cemetery, there is this beautiful, growing monument that's there to our Vietnam veterans that have returned home. Well, and it even goes a step farther because those that have been affected by the exposure to herbicides, they're able to not only have their name on there, but the ones that has a diagnosed condition that falls underneath the herbicides that the VA recognizes, they get a orange heart beside their name. Mm-hmm. You do not have to be already changed your address, gone to the heavenly gates and stuff. You can still be here. This is the one time that you still get to see you can see your name on something before you're gone. And then, we have the bronze niche that goes on top at that time. A lot of folks want to see them, but you can't get that. You got to stop breathing. But
so say that again. What is it now?
The bronze niche.
What does that mean? The
plate that goes down for the veteran's name, branch of service.
Okay.
War era that they served. I have a lot of people who say, well, I want to see mine. Uh-huh. Well, no, you can't.
Okay.
Because you have to be gone.
Okay. So that goes on the memorial with the name?
No.
You'll have to show me. You'll have to.
That goes on the grave site.
Oh,
yeah.
oh! You lost me there. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm confused. Okay. So, okay, now, okay. I'm sorry. I was like, no. Following your trail.
The Orange Heart Foundation, has his beautiful monument there, and it's still growing. It's going to be growing for several years.
Yeah.
But the Orange Heart Memorial that is there recognizes those veterans who did make it back home, whose name will not ever be on the wall in D.C.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got over 58,000 names on there now, and we're losing Vietnam veterans. I mean, I think it's like 500 a day is about.
That was the last count, and that's been last year, I think.
Yeah.
I know it's higher.
And I mean, these guys we're losing them very fast, and of course we had over 6,000 women that served in Vietnam as well too.
Yeah.
So who knows how many of them that are still here with us?
Yeah.
I know there's very few. I think there's one that I know of here in Robertson County. But the Orange Heart Memorial is to recognize all of our Vietnam vets. Mm-hmm. If you're still breathing, you can come out there. You can have your name placed on one of the cenographs. I mean, it's just Ken Gamble's done this right. Mm-hmm. The Orange Heart Memorial Foundation, they are a tax exempt nonprofit. So all their proceeds go back to maintain everything that they do out there at that memorial. This gives a chance because the guys that was there didn't know that they were wounded.
Yeah.
They didn't know that they had a potential death sentence already there. Mm-hmm. So even though they carried it for all these years, but still the government will not recognize that to do anything for these guys, to recognize and say, hey, we know you did, and everything we get through the VA, we had to fight tooth and nail for. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be a wonderful program. Starts at 12 today. Our main keynote speaker is General Tommy Baker. General Baker is the commissioner for Tennessee Department of Veteran Services for state Tennessee. He answers to the governor. So he doesn't have anybody else above him.
Yeah. Except
for the man upstairs.
Yeah. There you go. He's a great guy, too. I've met him a couple of times. Just a stand-up guy. Really like him a lot. You can tell he has a heart for all the veterans. And not saying that all veterans don't have a heart for each other, but for his rank and the position he's in, to come in here and, start trying to make things better.
at the state level, which does trickle down to the counties. So that is part of our support. And, the one thing with that is it's a partnership with us and the state. So we, as county service officers, we don't work for the state. We don't work for the VA. We don't answer to the federal government. We answer to our local government. And so we serve at their pleasure. But to me, it's an honor for us to be able to do it. And not everyone can do this type of work. Because it will pull on you mentally, it will pull on you, your empathy, and it's just, you have a roller coaster of emotions every day. But what hurts me is when I go out to the Orange Heart Memorial now, and I look down through there, and a lot of the names that's on here, I know the folks personally, and some I'm very close to. But I'm seeing a lot more of them that's gone that are still here.
Yeah.
And that's, if you want to know what makes you think of your mortality, that's it.
Yeah.
When you start seeing all your friends go.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, it's one of those things that I've had some people say to me about the Vietnam vets. They're saying, well, they're losing them at this rate. And they'll say, well, they're in their 70s now. They should be. But when you compare the rate of loss in that age group to other veterans, it's a vast difference.
Yeah.
And it's because of this Agent Orange exposure. So, yes, we do know they're getting older. But, and I mean, we know, oh my goodness, how many do we know that died in their 50s and 60s?
Yeah.
Because of their exposure.
Yeah.
And it's at a much higher rate. Yes, we know they're getting older, but there are still World War II vets around. The Vietnam vets, we're not going to have them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the ones that were exposed. Now, I know there's some that had no exposure, but if they were exposed, I mean, they're just. Yeah. I've had so many that'll say to me, well, I've got this person that's a Vietnam vet that I know. And I said, well, are you aware of the Agent Orange stuff? Oh, no. Well, they died in such and such. I said, what did they die of? And they'll say one of the things that is connected to, and do you realize that this may be the cause? As your family, you need to check into it because there may be a benefit for you that the government really owes you big time for the loss of your loved one. And if the children were born after Vietnam, it could affect them because it goes down to the DNA. And this has all been scientifically proven, guys. Just go and look at it yourself. Any child that was born after Vietnam, after their parents' exposure, is subject to this as well.
Yes.
And it is just, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I mean, generational.
Oh, yes.
Generations. Not just the ones that were born right after, but their kids.
Yeah.
So you need to look into this. I
believe they have it at 5 generations.
That's what
right now, and they're still looking at how far this is going to go because of the fact it did change the DNA.
Yep.
And how it did the system, and when you look at the age factor, the majority of our World War II veterans lived on into their mid to upper 90s. Some even went past 100. Our Korean veterans, similar ratio there. But when we look at our Vietnam veterans, the average age is about 62 to 65 of when they're passing. So we're losing them 30, 40 years or more before our World War II and our Korean veterans that we lost.
And it's just when you compare the numbers and you look at it all together, it's clearly connected. And if it weren't, the federal government wouldn't be stepping up and finally doing something about it, which they are. That's why you are doing the work you do as our veteran service officer here in Robertson County, and the head of the office right now. And you have others that work with you, Gwen. And what is the other gentleman's name? Scott. And the amazing work that they are doing. My friend Gwen, she's so excited. She goes, I just love going to work every day. She just absolutely is so thrilled to be a part of the office. Just thrilled.
Hey, we are thrilled to have her.
Oh my goodness, you had a passion for veterans. That
She got on to me for scanning my own stuff. Okay.
Oh my goodness, she's like, let me do that for you. Bless. Oh, she's good. She's wonderful. I'm so
yes.
thrilled. I'm so thrilled that she was.
Yes.
You know, the God just opens doors sometimes, and so clearly, and sometimes He'll go, let me get the door for you, and she. If you've not heard this story, Gwen had been working for a company for, I want to say 15 years, for a long time.
Yeah.
And just, ended up getting laid off, not justifiably, kind of like me. I got laid off after 28 years because they could hire somebody cheaper. It's kind of what happened with her.
Yeah.
I got laid off from my traffic position as U-turn on a phone call after 28 years because they could just pay somebody half what they were paying me. That's all there was to it. And so that seems to be kind of what happened with her. And so she was out there looking for something. And as her friend, I was keeping my ear to the ground. And I remember so clearly the day you came in here and said, hey, we're looking for somebody. And in my mind, I thought, oh, well, I need to tell Gwen about that.
Yeah.
And I forgot.
Well, and our two final candidates that we was talking to, of course, are friends.
Yeah.
Know each other well. Live fairly close to each other.
They truly do.
And the one that we didn't select said, if I had known I was going up against her, I would have pulled out.
Because of the military connection, because she grew up with a military father, and spent some time in Japan and in a military base. I mean, she knows veterans, and so
her dad was a Vietnam veteran.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, it's just amazing. But nonetheless, it was such a God thing because she was in here and all of a sudden it was like God's tapped me on the head, go, have you told Gwen about that job yet, Laverne? And I was like, oh, and it was the last day to take in an application. And I mean, it was, and I felt like he was tapping me on the shoulder going, I held the door open. Can you please point her to it? Don't you know the Lord gets so frustrated with us sometimes? He goes, can I be more obvious?
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's like, guy gets up there and he says, God, why didn't you save me? He goes, man, I sent people to the door to tell you to evacuate. I sent people in a boat. I sent a helicopter. What more did you want me to do?
Amen. Praise the Lord. But anyway, talking with Terry Wilson, he is our Veteran Service Officer here in Robertson County, and he will be at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. It's the observance. I mean, it's not. It's the Vietnam Veterans Celebration is what they call it for the Orange Heart Medal Foundation. But again, even the soldiers that are home that weren't affected by Agent Orange, we want you on the wall too, because you were not taken care of. And I will tell at some point, if there's room in the program, I will tell the story of Terry Smith and him getting his medal and the line that Donna said, it's about time. And that's the message that is passed on at the Vietnam Veteran Celebration. It's about time we honored y'all. And by the way, thank you, sir, for your service in Vietnam.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Well, I didn't serve Vietnam.
I thought you served Vietnam.
No, I
thought
came,
you.
Nope.
Okay.
I had just about all the males on my mother's side of the family did.
Okay.
The only one that didn't, I think the only reason he didn't, he worked on the farm for a lot of the ones that was sitting on the draft board.
Okay, and here's the thing too, you're not old enough really, are you?
No,
because that's the thing. I've got you aged a little bit older than I thought.
No.
And
it's
that gray hair. That's gray hair.
I've earned every one of them.
But, how funny. How funny. For some reason, I thought you had told me that you had some exposure to Vietnam.
I actually remember sitting and watching, trying to see any of our family that may have been caught, because Walter Cronkite.
Oh, yeah, we had all the footage and stuff, yeah.
Every night, and it was like trying to see if you can see any of your family and stuff. And hundreds and thousands, million people, sat at home watching to see if they could see their loved one.
Yeah.
And a lot of that really bothered me because of how they were being treated when they came back.
Oh yeah,
And I remember sitting and watching when they had to follow Saigon, and they evacuated everybody out.
Oh, yeah.
air quotes. Anyway, and then what was supposed to have been the last POW, I remember seeing the guy coming down in his uniform and all of that, but still there was so much that even though it was televised as much as it was, there was still a lot of conflicting as for what they did.
Right.
World War II, yes, they censored everything that came out. They wanted stuff to come out that was positive for the war effort. Mm-hmm. And, so those guys were welcomed home. Greatest Generation. To me, when we look at Greatest Generation, that can be the generation that we're in. Look at all the young men and women that have come back and with their ailments, and then with the effects of the Gulf War, the environmentals and all that. That's going to be our Agent Orange in the next 20 years.
The fire pits or whatever.
Yeah.
Aaron Slate's talked a lot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're starting to see more and more folks actually starting to see Desert Storm. But, everything had to come out in a positive light. But during Vietnam, it's like a lot of the things, they didn't show where they went in and rebuilt camps. Mm-hmm. They didn't show where they was putting Vietnamese to work in a lot of the camps, and they were being paid to provide the services that was needed for the troops that were there. The only thing they wanted to show, oh my gosh, somebody burned a hut down. Mm-hmm. We're just evil, bad guys, and yet we had the North Vietnamese going in and completely wiping out villages just because they either befriended an ally, or anything like that. So that was, they had to walk a thin line. Mm-hmm. But, as I've learned those things going on, and I made a decision back probably early 70s that I was going to the military. And coming from a long line of Army, you would think, well, you're going to follow the
You're going to follow the path, yeah.
No, I broke the path, and I joined the Corps.
Okay.
And I think a lot of that was a test.
Okay.
Did I have it?
The Marines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I knew if I could cut it there, then I could cut it anywhere.
Yeah. Aaron Slate's going, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a Marine too. So, yeah. There you go. But talking with Terry Wilson, all things veteran services. This is Vietnam Veterans Day, and we want to invite you to come out and join us. And I can't say enough about Springfield Memorial Gardens because they have taken on the maintenance of this.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happens in the future, we pray that this is something we can add to. Yeah. But you will get to a point where I guess you'll get to a point where it's finished, and then it's going to be there for them to take care of.
Yeah.
And so they have taken that on and committed to doing that. God bless them for that, because it's a beautiful, the way all the flags and all the things that are there. If you're somebody that understands the price of your freedom is not free, and you want to honor those who have paid the price for you, go out there and spend some time of just meditation and memory when, it doesn't have to be a Memorial Day, it doesn't have to be a special day designated by our government, just when you're feeling grateful for what you've been given in this country, stop by and just honor them.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful meditative place right there on the road to do it. But it is very meditative and very beautiful, and it's very visible as you come into our city. And what a thing to welcome you to Springfield, as it says, hey, here's where we give honor. Here's where we give honor,
And because we really need to, and, as this, continues to grow, I mean, it has done leaps and bounds already.
Yeah.
This is not just for Robertson Countyans, Tennesseans. This is for all veterans that served boots on ground in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And we want to try to make sure you're honored. Ken does have an application on the website, on his website, which is Orange Heart Medal Foundation. And with that, they can do that application. They can do one just to get the medal, or they can do for the scintigraph. and it's $150 to be able to put your name on there. And if you have a herbicide connected condition, then they will also, if you'll mark that, they will take and they'll put an orange heart there. Mm-hmm. And we've had people travel from all over the U.S. I think we've even had people come here from Hawaii and Alaska to come down. And I mean, those just aren't, oh, hey, hun, let's go to Springfield, Tennessee. That's not one of them spur of the moment things.
True.
That's one of those things that you plan for.
Yeah.
I think we've got 2 or 3 busloads of people that came in from the Carolinas. I mean, we just have people that are just coming here. We had a gentleman, let me see, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. He came from California, drove because he could not fly. And he was in a wheelchair and all that, but he drove across the U.S., came here for that, got back to California, and he passed. But he was determined, his last mission was to come see his name on that wall.
Yeah. Can you imagine what I mean, you think about all that they went through, and as you and I both can say, we were witness to it as young people, and I can't say enough about it's just about time we honored our Vietnam veterans.
And if it's one of the Vietnam veterans is your loved one, your spouse or loved one, or I mean, it can even be a grandchild of that Vietnam veteran that may have passed years back, and they want to do something to recognize them, and to be able to show, hey, my granddaddy, he was here, he did this, he went and did a job without a thanks.
Well, and I'll just say we've got three Vietnam vets in Mark's family up in Michigan. And I've told Kim we're going to get this done, and I have not gotten it done. I'm just going to say right now, if any of my Michigan people are listening, we've got 3 we need to do. Mark and I will do one of them. Uncle Cooch is the one we want to take care of, Kenneth Vivio, because we've got kids named after him. We got a son named after him. But we've got 2 others up there. And so let's get them on there, and let's see if we can get some Vivios down here. Vietnam Vets Day next year. We got a year to plan it.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to put the challenge out there. Sometimes my family gets on here and listens to this up in Michigan. So I would love to get them down here because Uncle Cooch, man, he's getting older. And one of them we've already lost. We actually lost him just in this past year.
Yeah.
And but I would love to get Uncle Cooch down here for something like that, and it's just one of those things you keep thinking, oh, I'll do that, but he's in his 80s,
and a lot of these guys, instead of just getting them a gift card or another tool or a tie, or even an ugly sweater for Christmas,
make this
make this their gift,
because
that's love from the heart,
you bet.
And then for them to be able to come and sit, if they're able to travel, be able to bring them in and show them, say, hey, here's what I did. Here's what we did. We want to make sure that you're remembered.
So funny because I think about Uncle Cooch. He also served in Korea, so he's older. And he's very humble, and he would probably be embarrassed by the attention, but just such a sweet man. But he came down to see us one time and had to turn around and leave because the pollen just lit him up. I'll never forget it. He was down here and he's like, I'm going home, man. I don't know what y'all got down here in Tennessee, but it was tearing him up. And so this is the time of the year. I don't know if we can get Cooch down here or not because he's like, oh man, I don't know what y'all got in your hair, but I'll just y'all can zoom me in. Y'all can FaceTime me. Hey, I got to go ahead and do a break here. Let's do this. Let's do this break for Barry and Rebecca Ridgers with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team, and then we'll wrap it up with Terry. We have got Lee Marie, my sweet friend, coming in with the Ghost Show. She'll be in right after we finish up here. But we're going to hit it again and give you all the details about the Vietnam Vets celebration. But we do want to pause and talk about Barry and Rebecca Ridgers with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. They are my friends in real estate. If you need good realtors, go and talk to them today. If you're trying to sell a piece of property and it's just not moving, have you taken a look at your pictures online? Have you taken a look at your videography? Is it shown in the best light when people are flipping through those listings? Does it pop? Well, if it doesn't, you need a marketer. That's what Barry is. He came out of a marketing background, vice president of a media marketing company for 17 years, so he knows that side of it. And having a marketer on your team when you're trying to sell property, this can't speak enough to the value of that. Rebecca's one of the first in this area to be a seniors real estate specialist. She's always studying, staying up to date on what's going on in the market. They are Robertson Countyans. They've been here 27 years, I think, that we figured up last time. And they are one of us. So they specialize in Robertson County properties, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. And if you want to tap into this, just call them. Get out the phone and give Becky a call right now at 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, or connect with them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or by BUI, robertsoncounty.com. Always let them know that you turned Cincha and thank them for sponsoring One Street Over. Terry Wilson in the house, our veteran service officer, and you will see him at the Vietnam Vets Celebration, Springfield Memorial Gardens today at noon. Get out there about 11 o'clock. I mean, we're taking the kiddos to the Golden Arches to eat on the way up, so we'll be there probably, I'm thinking 11:30, 11:40, somewhere in there.
And we do have Oak Hills Golf Course over in Greenbrier. They are bringing 3 carts out to us this morning.
Okay.
And I want to thank Mr. Jerry Fagg for helping make that happen. Also,
so golf cart transportation, don't have to worry about walking. We'll give you a ride. So that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
And they'll be there. We'll have folks on those running, picking up, bringing them over for it. So, parking is going to be at the funeral home, and any overflow will probably be straight up.
They'll direct you. It'll be clear. And two, now, are the guys going to have hot dogs and stuff? Are they going to have their hot dog truck?
We've all been running around like chickens with our heads chopped off, so I can't answer that.
I told the students, I said, I know we're stopping. They wanted to stop at Mickey D's. Okay, so I was like, okay, we can do that. But I told them, I said, bring money, because if they have hot dogs, you're going to want one of the veterans' hot dogs because they're so awesome. And if they have them, that's going to be my lunch.
Well,
so
I'm thinking that they
probably will. Yeah.
I tell you, those dogs they have,
fabulous.
you take and you smoke those.
Oh, honey.
Oh.
Stop. All right, I'm hungry now. Between you and Kaleb earlier talking about smoking turkey and all that, and I'm out of time. I'm over time. It is time for the Go Show. Thank you, Terry, for coming in here and helping us out. Be sure and join us today for the Vietnam Vets, celebration happening at Springfield Memorial Gardens. That is coming up at noon today. Get out there early, though, and I'll see you there. I'm going to bring a bunch of students. It's going to be awesome. Hope to see you there. Stay tuned for the Go Show with Lee Marie. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless.